I mean fully. So long as they're not someone I know, and so long as I do not eat or ingest the spinal fluid or the parts that I could get kudu from, yeah, in the event of a plane accident that I'm the survivor and 4 other people are the survivors. Again, not a strong point, not me going, ooh, chat, look at me, I'm a badass. No, guys, this is a mental deficiency in me. This is me being mentally broken. But in the event of something like that, like the event of the accident in the Andes Mountains with the soccer team, yeah, Chad, I could take the box cutter and the fire and take the dead body, not the person, but the victim of exposure, and before the meat rotted, I could make that meat into a meat that we could eat, and you wouldn't recognize it as human anymore. As long as, and I would make this very clear, don't think about it. We found a pig outside of camp. We should all give thanks to our friend that died so that we could find this pig outside of camp. Now we should all eat quietly and not think too hard about this pork. Why am I saying pig or pork? I'm not doing it to disrespect the person who was killed, or who, sorry, not was killed, who died of exposure. I'm saying it as because human meat tastes like pork according to most cannibals, and I'm not trying to fuck with your head. What we're having to do is harrowing, and we need to give this the proper respect. But at the same time, I'm not going to be, yep, Jim died, so I turned him into this here sausage. Eat Jim. Yummy, yummy, Jim, in your tummy. God, no. I might do that in a group of sickos like myself just because, hey, guys, isn't life a horrifying experience that you just kind of want to die a lot of the time? But that's not mentally healthy to say, so... Know what I mean? We make jokes, and sometimes those jokes are fucked, right? Best thing you can do is if you say a joke and you get the raised eyebrow, you go, oh, okay, so that's the line. Okay, cool. Let's move on then. I would never ever be one of these hacky bitches that, oh, y'all aren't laughing at me? Oh, guess y'all are the triggered ones. No, bitch, my joke wasn't funny. If you say a joke and you get a... or just that... oh, God, the smile. Don't smile like that at me. Those smiles haunt me. It's the... oh. Okay, I'm going to take that joke to the writing room again. Thanks for the advice. Next time, say it a little quieter, though, please. My ears hurt. But then again, maybe also that's me just being overly sensitive. Because, you know... uh-oh. This isn't good. There we go. Because, you know, being overly sensitive is also something we can do sometimes. Again, y'all, part of the reason why I dislike the left is we fucking... I'm all for constantly vibe checking each other, because we should. If I'm up here and we're laughing and we're having a good time and a DMX song comes on and suddenly I'm singing, X gon' give it to you, X gon' give it to you, da-da-da-da-da, X gon' give it to you. And we get to that part that I can't remember now because it's been so fucking long since I've listened to DMX. And it's, yeah, I'm the real off the chain, coming up at you like a hurricane, dubba-dubba-dubba. You see it, right? I might have fucked up the song because I'm not going to hit that rhyme with that particular word. But do I think that the old woman who came up on stage and said it should be chastised? Yes, I do. Now, do I think she should be, like, defamed, demurred, and insulted and dragged? No, I think that she should say her piece. Okay, well, I did not realize I can still be a little racist. Sorry about that, y'all. And move on. Because if you say... Okay, give you a good example. A good example of me being a piece of shit, y'all. When I first went to Earl C. Clemens Job Corps and I was just the cop-sucking fucking... I was a real fucking righty without even meaning to be. I thought I was a freedom fighter, y'all. But I was really just one of them people fighting for the freedom of white people to be able to say anything they wanted. I was Southern. And there was a black individual at Job Corps who called me out on it. And it was not the therapist there. It was not the HR representative there. None of them taught me shit. It was that one man who went, "Hey, bro, you know why I don't fucking like you calling me a monkey? Why? 'Cause you acting funny about it? No, dipshit, listen to me." "Oh, sorry, what?" "Look, your white boy ancestors called me a motherfucking monkey. Called my ancestors a motherfucking monkey. In a hateful fucking way. Not in a funny ha-ha way like you saying it. In a fucking hateful way. So when you say it, are you being funny ha-ha? Or is you being a little bitch coward saying it in a hateful way?" Well, I'm being fun. No, you fuck you ain't. You saying it hateful, dude. Think about it. If I called you a fucking cracker every day, you honky cracker motherfucker, how would you feel about it? Well, I mean, if you said... What if I said it just the way I'm fucking saying it, cracker? Well, I wouldn't like it. I would think you're angry at me. I would think, get it? Okay, now what if when you said, oh, you think I'm angry? Oh, so I'm an angry black man. Well, no, I didn't. No. See, right there. Stop. Hard stop. That feeling you're feeling. That awkward, oh, I don't like this. We're not having fun. That feeling, that's how I feel every time you call me a monkey, man. Every time you say that word, even in jest, right to that level. Oh shit, man, I'm sorry. I think you are this time. Now sit with that and apologize to me in like a day or so. Was he being a fucking culture warrior? Oh, fuck you. You're just trying to censor me. I mean, it could have gone that way. Unfortunately, because I was a southern dipshit, it did go that way. I was not the... Oh, shit, you're right, man. No, I was the racist piece of shit. Well, I mean, if you gonna scream at me like a fucking monkey, why ain't you acting like a fucking monkey? Chat, I was in the wrong. I was a piece of shit. And that's one of those things that I'm gonna have to be haunted by. There are times that I wake up at night when I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm a good person. And Honky Travis just comes screaming back from that time period. I've still, like I said, I apparently still have growing to do. Because like Dr. Weyrich said that, oh, well, I don't understand. No, clearly I don't. Because take me back to Nazi Germany and I can still justify murdering German people. I can. Let me be clear here, chat. If I am murdered by some poor Gazan refugee, don't kill the Gazan. I fucking deserved it just on the basis of my country is paying billions at this point over the years. Millions per year. Millions per month. Billions per year. Trillions over the 75 years. To genocide their people. If they kill me, again, I'm not saying, oh, please, Gazans, murder me, because most Gazans are children, and most Gazan children, by nature of being children, aren't bloodthirsty monsters. They're people that just want to live. Go watch Miss Rachel if you got a strong spirit. I say that not because she's going to say anything, but because I personally want you to. If you're someone who has used the, God fucking forgive me for this, better, Afghanistan people, people of the deserts and of the sands and of the regions that I defamed as a child, please forgive me for the word I'm about to say. But if you're the type of person who's used the fucking phrase in camel jockey, yeah, go watch Miss Rachel right now, you racist piece of shit. I want you to. I want you to look at a small child who has lost her fucking legs because our country is fucking shitty. I want you to look at that child hopping around like a little bunny, making the best, while her family is still, well, parts of her family are still in a goddamn war zone, possibly getting murdered because my greedy shit country thinks that they deserve that. Fuck America, and fuck anyone who supports that shit. And fuck you if you think I'm crossing a line for that. But, taking a sip of my Angel's Dream Tea from the Peacock Tea Room, taking a breath. Understand, chat, that isn't anger at you. That isn't even anger at the racist. The reason I'm tearing up right now, the reason I'm spitting fucking venom at my white fellows is because I said that terrible, unexcusable phrase, folks. I was a racist piece of shit all the way up until I was like 23. And I'll claim that shit now. I was a racist piece of shit, and I'm sorry. I work on that every day as much as I can, and that's why, for all you motherfuckers that are trying to, I just used a cat's head like a remote. Poor baby, I used their ear like the joystick, because I had to double hand my fucking big ass not medieval, can you hear that, y'all? I had to manhandle my whole big-ass drinking cup from Ren Fair. It's dark in the room I'm playing in. Be nice to me. But yeah, chat, that's... When I say own it, that's what I'm talking about. When I'm spitting venom about white people, I'm not spitting venom at Mr. Rogers. I'm not yelling at... I just said her name. I almost called her a certain phrase that I'm not going to reserve for her because even saying it playfully feels wrong. I can't remember her name now. I'm sorry, y'all. But the Mrs. Rogers of our time. But either way. No, not either way. Give me a second to get to a safe place. This lady's going through... Miss Rachel. That's her name. But, yeah, I'm not yelling at Miss Rachel. I'm yelling at myself from 5 years ago. I'm yelling at myself from 10 years ago. Oh, if I could get a hold of myself from high school, I'd beat my ass. But I would also try to educate myself. Because, again, folks, yeah, it feels good to punch a Nazi, and you should. I will condone that violence. 10 toes down. Punch a fucking Nazi right in their swollen up little Nazi nose. But also take the opportunity to explain to the piece of shit why you think they're a piece of shit. For example, right now, I'll tell you, why do I think my piece of shit uncle's a piece of shit? Because he's using the Christian church to make money, when in fact, if he was actually... like, sorry for what he had done in the past, and all the things he had done through the past, like myself, he would own those mistakes and not buy them. For example, chat, if any of you subscribe because of this little diatribe I'm going on, cool, come learn from me. Please don't give me money. Not because of this. Give me money because, fuck yeah, y'all, we're almost on day 100 of hardcore survival mode, and we haven't died yet. Give me money because, fuck was I gonna call you? Because Fenrir here in the wooden boat hasn't died, and I've been keeping him alive in his little wooden prison because I can't figure out how to get him out of there. Give me money for my interesting little structure to get around with. You want to pay me? I'm not saying don't give me money, chat. I need money. I live in dystopian shithole America. Money is necessary for life here. But don't, oh, that white boy done learned his lesson. I'm going to give him a pat on the back. Please don't do that, y'all. That's the kind of shit Ethan Klein's trying to do right now. Truth be told, you want to know why I don't like Ethan Klein? And I was trying to carry a little bit of, the tiniest bit of water for him because of the whole... I thought he was dude from Tim and Eric Awesome Show Great Job, and he wasn't. Sorry, Tim and or Eric from Tim and Eric. Y'all didn't deserve that smoke I sent your way if I sent any smoke your way. But no, it's... Dude. You shouldn't get credit for, oh, I'm a reformed racist, or I'm a learning racist. No. I ask for your credit as in, if you hear me fuck up, take into account what I have done in the past, and put on them kid gloves and be like, hey man, that's not cool. You shouldn't say that way. And I will do my best to take that under advisement. And as long as I'm doing that, move forward while I'm taking that under advisement. Don't, Oh, well, honky, you said that racist thing. Honky, why you being a racist, honky? You know what I mean? It's like when I correct Alan on things in the restaurant. Do I get pissed off at Alan sometimes? Fuck yes. Why? Because he acts entitled. He acts like the boss's pet. And yes, sometimes I act like the boss's pet. But I do that because, like yesterday when the boss asked, I was in there earlier than everyone else. I stayed later than most. And that's not a ooh-wee feather in my cap, but it is kind of an ooh-wee feather in my cap because I did the damn deed. You know what I mean? I should get the special credit for going above and beyond. But not being racist, that's not above and beyond, folks. That's called the bar. It's like when new guy, who I'm not going to say his name because, well, one, I don't want to dox nobody. Two, you know who I'm talking about. He knows who I'm talking about. And three, dude, I don't think you're a bad person. I think you have some learning and growing. We were all shitty at 19. I'm going to say there isn't a 19-year-old out there that's well-rounded and perfect. We all have growing to do at your age. But that being said, kid, I'm going to call you out when you fuck up. I'm not going to say that you're a bad person for it, but don't be so cocky when you literally, and again, maybe I'm doing a little too much here, but when you and your mama had to beg for this job because it's only your third job, you don't get to come in and be, well, isn't this the easiest job ever? But bit of free advice, don't tell that to someone while we're actively doing a job. I mean, let's be clear. If your job is sitting at a desk, typing in numbers into a grid, I think that job sounds easy as fuck. I would call that job an easy job. Now let me do that job for 14 hours and let's see if I still think it's an easy job. Fast food on its face is an easy job. I'm not saying it's not on its face. But once you get past the face, yeah, how much can you cook and how quick can you cook, knowing that no matter how fast you cook, it's not going to be good enough. You're still going to have that customer that, I don't like this though. But is it done right? But you didn't do this right. But I ordered it this way. And here's a tip, folks. One, yeah, you're in your mind, oh, I'm paying $20 for a burger and fries and onion rings and a biscuit. That's outrageous. I should get to act like a horse's ass. No, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. If you're that upset over the pricing, which I and my cohorts have absolutely no say in, please, there's a corporate number right the fuck there. Stop being a bitch and taking it out on people that can't do anything about it, and your bitch ass call corporate. Well, I do. No, the fuck you don't, Alice, because if you did, corporate wouldn't do the shit they do. The only reason they feel safe in getting away with it is because when they make a burger $15, your ass chews out the cashier, not the CEO. You bitches will yell at the cashier, but when you call the CEO, well, sir, sir, I love your restaurant, and your food is the best food to feed my family, and I really love you, sir. You've done a thing with this thing you've done here. What a thing you've done. But, sir, I found a Band-Aid in my burger, and I think that these workers are just not holding up your high company standard. So, sir, I think you should do something about it. Y'all suck the corporation's asshole, even though the corporation is apparently what you're upset at. Make that make sense. Make that make sense to me. Because again, you'll eat like, and it goes so far as, you'll chew out my manager, but you won't chew out my executives. I mean, if my store manager's there and she comes to the window, she'll occasionally get bitched at. But if our head is there, if our owner's there, because he's wearing like a little, okay, for example, because I've never met the owner of the current store I'm at, because, you know, I'm an untouchable, and he's a piece of shit. But, either way, it's one of those, I'm gonna be nice about that. Maybe he's not a piece of shit, but I am an untouchable to him. That's why he hires the underling managers, those other untouchable, unwashed pieces of shit to him. That, you know, they are the dogs of us. We are the fleas, they are the dogs. How do I know? Because, chat, I come from a middle-class background back when the middle class meant something. I've been in the room as a child when these people's parents and they talked about the poor amongst them. When I say, oh, Katy Perry fucking hates your ass, I don't say that because, I'm an edgy boy. No, I say that because people like Katy Perry, singers that I've talked to, will frequently call y'all cash cows, and they go out to milk their cows. They call you sad wannabes. Because that's what you are. You want to be them so bad you'll sell your own out. I mean, make it make sense why you won't give Grandma the time to go visit her, but you'll spend $190 on a Katy Perry ticket. For the record, if your grandmother hated you because you're gay, or your grandmother was abusive to you in any way, we here at this family say found family matters, and blood is in fact thicker than, well, blood is in fact not thicker than water. And if you drink blood, you'll get sick. If you drink water, you'll live. What I'm saying is found family means more than family. Family. Fucking fight me on it. I stand 10 toes down on that. That coming from someone who's been countlessly abused by his family. Sexually, physically, mentally, you name it, I've had it. Not from the same family member, mind you, and we're not going into detail because that's not what this kind of stream's about. If you're a victim of abuse and you want to call me and we want to talk personally about our abuse, we can do that. I'll give you that personal time. But that's the difference. I'll tell you it's happened. You don't need to know the gritty details. Nor do I need to know your gritty details if you don't want to share them. But if you do, and if you need to, understand I don't think any less of you, and I am here for you for that. But y'all, that's what I feel this community is, you know? I'm not gonna... Okay, give you an example. One of the first people I ever confided in about my bad touch uncle, the first thing I said when I confided in them, this is what happened. They, possibly because they were a product of the 90s like myself, possibly because they were a bigoted piece of shit, possibly because they had also been abused in a similar way and me telling them about it just hit a little too real. But when I first told them about it, their first response without giving that note a second to drop was, oh, well, were you sure you weren't just gay? Sounds like you might have been a fag. And yeah, that hurt. Like, I honestly, as someone who's been hit, I would rather my friend had punched me in the face than said that to me after I confided. It took, when I shit you not, literal years for me to talk to another person about it after that. That's what I'm saying. We're never going to do that, chat. And if someone in my fucking community does that, well, fuck you, you're out of the community. I might need all 50 of y'all to live stream, but I don't need 50 people if one of y'all is going to be a bigot. Let's be clear. We do not host intolerance here. We will boot that shit like we will a cancer, or we will spit out piss water. Or shit water. It's, you know what I mean? There is a point here, folks. It's like my last subscriber. No offense to you, little dude. I'm not demeaning you. You seem like a good little dude. I like the tongue-in-cheek way you do your content. But admittedly, when I first looked at your channel, Constructive Criticism, my first thought was, oh, this is a shitlord. Oh, am I going to have to ban you? Because a lot of the people that, oh, I make shit content, I make garbage content. Some of those people, all the respect in the world, like myself, you understand. You're new at this, and as anyone new at anything, until you get good at it, you're going to suck at it. that being said, you can't just wear that as a badge of honor. Much like I'm going to take a nice big boy two-handed sip of my big-ass tea glass here. Then I'm going to get back to playing. Because part of being a video game streamer, part of the reason y'all come out to watch me, is to watch me have these steady streams of thought, and sometimes lag, but not just be sitting here staring at a wall, and then, you know. Which is why that speech impediment thing that I did there just then was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek, ha-ha funny. Again, not trying to disparage anyone with a true blue, you got a speech impediment. Also, I will own it, I did have a speech impediment as a child. And my mother handled it in not the best way. She handled it in the best way she could. I'm not saying she was wrong this time. Well, she was wrong, but she wasn't malicious this time. She did other things maliciously. But I would also say, even in those malicious things, she did them with the hopes that it would make me into a not shitty, better person. Her biggest fear was that I would end up like her brother, or like my uncle, or like my great-uncle. She lived with a real fear that I was going to end up being a sexist, bigoted, racist piece of shit. Because that's what I grew up around. Keep in mind, my uncle called one of my black friends God, I said it that way. But you needed it for that detail. He called one of my black friends the N-word with the A and the ER. When we were all smoking weed together one time to show how cool and not a triggered lib he is. And all I could do was apologize profusely afterwards and say, look, man, he's of a different time and I would have jumped his shit for it. But it wasn't worth the fight, and that didn't feel like something you wanted to be in on. I am sorry, though. If you think I should have said something, you can call me out for it. But in his mind, he was the shit, you know? He was the cool guy. I mean, for literal 2.5 years after that, he and his son would constantly ask, hey, man, that guy you got that X from, why can't we get any more of that ecstasy stuff? Because you called him a racial slur to his face, you stupid piece of shit. Oh, why is he upset? Why is he so sensitive about it? That's not being sensitive. You're a racist piece of shit, and he don't want to deal with racist pieces of shit. Why was that hard to grasp? Oh, because, you know, you're a racist piece of shit, and in your mind, it's not racist unless it's involving you. Fuck you. This might have just been an excuse to point out again that my uncle's a racist piece of shit. But he, in the same breath as saying the N-slur to this man, will look at him and say, and I don't know if this is racist, but it feels racist. Oh, well, I mean, I like fried chicken and watermelon too much, so I know we got one in our pile. So, your argument to why you're not racist is more racism. Cool. I was a dumbass, chat. Do I need to say this again? How much of a dumbass I was? Because I thought he ate with that. I thought he had that shit. Until I knew better. And literally the moment you know better, it's your duty as a person to, oh shit, that was stupid. Let's talk about how stupid I fucking was, and hopefully make everyone understand how they need to never be as stupid as I was. Because again, liking watermelon is just we like watermelon if we like watermelon. That doesn't mean anything inherently other than you like a fucking fruit. I'm just being funny. But is it? Look, I realize as a comedian-adjacent person, yeah, if you have to break down the joke, it kills the joke. But if in breaking down the joke you can't explain to me in a non-racist way how your joke wasn't racist, then your joke might have just been racist, friend. And I'm sorry, but please, anyone in chat that wants to defend my piece of shit racist uncle, or in case my piece of shit racist uncle is watching, as I suspect he might be, or his son is watching, as I suspect he might be, please feel free to defend your racist piece of shit father. Do explain to me how that was a joke, and not him being deliberately racist. Yes, I intentionally did that one as a catty gay man. But yeah, like I said, if you can prove me wrong, go ahead. But, again, much like comedy, if I'm punching up, it's comedy. If I'm punching down, I'm just a dick. That's why things like Mind and Mencia failed. That's why things like Tosh.0 succeeded until he became hacky. Because Tosh's main argument, his main, oh, I'm an asshole, come laugh at me, I'm going to be racist to everybody. And yes, as long as you're again, as long as you're racist to everybody, you can get away with that for a time. Here's the problem. Inherently, racism isn't that funny. It's a response. The reason why... Okay, I'll give you a reason. The reason white people are still racist today is because they genuinely feel so fucking stupid for being racist for so long, they can't unown it. Give you an example. And this one I can talk about because he confided it in me long, long ago. And yes, Chad, I know that's not how this works, but he thinks he ate with this. My cousin got pulled over for marijuana in his car, in a time when in Georgia it was not just a ha-ha, ho-hum misdemeanor, but when you could actually go to jail for it. And he did sit in holding for a little while over it, until his grandmother and his father until his grandmother paid for his bail, and his father went and got him out. And then, as you do, as one does in America, he had court for this. Now, as a much older individual now than when I first heard this story, if I had to guess, I'm going to say the cop didn't show up for court, or that they just pushed it far enough to where they didn't view it as worth the fight anymore. But according to my uncle, to this day, last I saw him, last I actually spoke to him as a human being and not as a disgusting piece of shit that I have to fucking deal with. But when I last spoke to him as a human being, he still believed in his heart that, oh no, I got my son off on that case, one, because I was an undercover narc for so many years, meaning, chat, he got busted with a fuck ton of meth, and rather than going to prison or jail for his fuck ton of meth that he was dealing, he instead decided to turn on his entire clientele. But I digress. Either way, he got his son off of that crime because, one, he was a narc back in the day. He was a cop, not a piece of shit druggie that sold out his clientele and dealers, but a cop. 4K o no dos. No les dos. Spanish speakers in the audience, yeah, I'm sure I butchered and didn't eat that, but either way, you can be two things at once, for the record, chat, but I don't think you ever... You know how we say, oh, all you gotta do to be a cop is go through a month-long course or 2-week-long course and get a badge? He didn't even have the fucking integrity to go through the 2-week course. He just started tattling on folks and, oh, I'm a cop now. No, Chris, you're a rat and a narc. A cop would be filling out reports. A cop would be going in to collect actual evidence, not just going in there doing a fuck ton of blow and then talking about it. A cop would have to go in there and gather evidence without doing all the blow, which is what makes what the cop's doing tricky and what you're doing easy. But I didn't get on this to point out how fucking stupid my uncle is. I got on this to point out he thought, literally, that he got Evan off on that case because the judge told him in court you can't be your son's lawyer because you haven't passed the bar. You're not a lawyer. The only way you can be a lawyer in this state, other than representing yourself, is to pass the bar. To be a lawyer means something. Now, whether or not they said that last bit or not, I don't know. But here's what my dipshit uncle thought. Oh, well, I got my son off because technically by the Constitution I can be a lawyer, and they were stupid and denied me my constitutional right, so he got off. Yeah, I gave him a funny voice because, one, he was that stupid and I can't process that easily otherwise. But yeah, he thought, to make it easier to understand in case my voice, stupid accent didn't carry it over, he thought that because the judge had denied him his constitutional right to be his son's lawyer with no legal training and tie up the system in such a way that it wastes everyone's time, him and his son included, he thought because the judge denied him that his son got off. Again, I think primarily what happened was the cop who pulled Evan over for less than an ounce of weed, basically he had 2 joints in a tray by his own admission. So paraphernalia, small amount of weed, and materials. They didn't want to push that through a couple $100,000 a court just to bust somebody who admittedly will just turn rat for you. I mean, again, they're not stupid, folks. Of course they're not going to lock their rats up. You can't rat on people if you're in a cage. They've already got rats in the cage. Better rats than you in that cage, in fact. Rats that don't need to have the, oh, but I'm the bestest rat, right? I'm the y'all love me. I'm the favorite rat. Yeah, their prison rats don't need that because they know if they get caught, that rat's going to get killed and eaten by the cats. It's, for the record, I'm not pro or anti-narc here. I think that everything has its place, and in a proper society, you would do your methamphetamines or cocaine or whatever via a hospital setting. Because again, I've never done it, mostly because my uncle's a meth head, or was a meth head, and having seen what both he would trade for it, what he would do for it, and how little he gave a single fuck about anyone but that meth. Yeah, I mean, congratulations, Chris. You made it to where I will never fucking try meth. When I hear meth, when I hear crack in my head, I just hear no. Because I don't want to look like you, I don't want to act like you, I don't want to sound like you. If I was you, I would fucking kill myself. I don't mean that in any kind of joking way, chat. Report me if you want to report me. If I was like my uncle, I would fucking kill myself. That being said, if you are unfortunately addicted to that terrible substance, I both cry for you and hope you find help. Understand that first step is both the easiest and the hardest to make. And after you have made that fundamental first step, and after you get through the hell of detox, chat, it's worth it. It gets easier. I've spoken to enough recovered addicts, and chat, I don't just speak as one, but I am one. I might have never done meth, but because of my uncle's cavalier teachings that he taught us as kids, that, oh, anything's doable, just do it and have fun, life is short, that kind of shit. I have done bath salts, I have done a tiny bit of what was probably cocaine, but who the fuck knows anymore. I've done the fake marijuana, as they called it back in the day, back when we still don't know what it was they were spraying on the potpourri. And I have done, arguably, some of the most addictive drugs in our country, alcohol and nicotine. I wouldn't say they're more addictive than, say, heroin, but I will say that I can't pick up heroin at every single gas station and most box stores. I can pick up Marlboro. Kind of a red flag, isn't it? That our country doesn't care if you kill yourself with poisons, toxins, and drugs. They just need to be the most profitable poisons, toxins, and drugs. But again, just to be clear here, y'all, it's more of a I don't judge addicts. I judge that addict. My uncle is the type of addict who I genuinely feel bad for his wife. But hell, if she's attracted to him, maybe she's a shitty person too. I don't like to, insult the victims, and she is his victim here. But also, you see the writing on the wall, right? Like, literally, and eventually I'll cover this when I can talk more about the case, but literally, the writing on the motherfucking wall that he and his son, you know what, I can't go into that much detail, because that's details of the case. Either way. If you can't see the writing on the wall, bitch, that's on you. I'm sorry. I feel bad for victims, but I also have limited amounts, because for every victim like you, there's a victim like Amber or Ina or Dawn that, yeah, they were made victims just because they trusted a fucking crackhead. And that crackhead both used them for sex and violence. That crackhead used them for money, sex, violence, and, possibly worst of all, to feel better for being a piece of shit crackhead. Like I said, none of this is disparaging. I also have my mother's journals, where she journaled and chronicled Chris's and Evan's constant use of drugs. I mean, let's be clear, chat, I'm not a saint. I have done the drugs. But even though I do the droga sometimes, or droga sometimes, I wouldn't be fucking blitzed or switched while watching after my elderly father. I wouldn't, you know, get super fucked up and then put myself in a position where I'm trying to care for the elderly. Mostly because what happens if an emergency happens, dude? But I digress. We're on day 100 from day 80. I'm rather impressed with myself over that. And I don't know how long this video has already gone. I will say I think the talkie videos are a bit more digestible than the just me playing the game in the background video. But I don't know. Also, looking at the algorithm, with most of my audience being between 28 and 35, cool. I can cuss and talk about the cool stuff that I'm into, as well as the dark and more, like, I'm not gonna, well, yeah, I'm gonna say it, the more important shit than, hey, y'all, isn't this a cool game? Sorry, I went high-pitched because I was trying to sound like a little kid. Can you tell that I would never be able to lure a child? But yeah, it's just, we all have our problems, y'all. The challenge is doing better than you did yesterday. And understand that at the end of the day, no matter how good you do... Okay, here's a good example, chat. Because I disagree with her fundamentally in all ways. But there was a lady back in the day that felt that I did her very, very wrong. And I will own that she feels that I did her very, very wrong. I have tried to reach out and make it right through talking and through, hey, just wanting to let you know we were both kids, we were both dumb and young, and we both made mistakes. I'm sorry for any mistake I ever made that might have hurt you or been misconstrued. I did the due diligence work, and I don't want applause for this. I'm using myself as an example here. But due to what she accused me of, and due to what in her mind I did, whoa, shit, there is no way that I ever make up for that. I could work for the rest of my life. I could tell her every day that I have changed and I'm different, and I'm a better person now. Cool, cool, cool. Fuck off. What makes you think you have the right to my attention? Hey, fair point. And it was actually her saying that that made me realize, oh shit, you know, that is a fair point. Because in my head, being all lawyerly, I didn't want to admit to what she accused me of because, well, again, to this day, Chad, I still don't feel I did it. But she accused me of it, and I feel bad for it. And again, we've been over, I was a bigoted piece of shit. I used terms like, you know, CJ. And I used, maybe not, well, yeah, I did use slurs. I used slurs like the G slur, or the, let's just say I put a lot of hate on the ethnicity of Arab. I can say that, right? Arab's not a slur. Arab's a people. But when you say it the way I did in high school post 9/11, yeah, I was turning an ethnicity into a slur. So again, I'm not saying that I was a good person, Chad. But the thing she accused me of, the only reason I don't think I could fundamentally do it is I've been in a situation where we were doing the deed and someone said no. And I mean, when I tell you I went flaccid, I immediately stopped. Maybe it's because I've been the victim of such a crime, but I can't. I mean, I could do it. I think anyone could do it if you don't know what you're doing. But I couldn't. If you told me I'm not sexually attracted to you, I don't want to have sex with you, you are disgusting to me. If you told me that in that manner, because I've got a lady that I know that she kind of gets off on telling guys that they ain't shit. And back in the day, she used, that neither here nor there, chat. Neither here nor there. Kinks ain't important right now. Either way, I'm trying to point out here, and she's actually one of the ones that taught me that I couldn't, because, yeah, she's the one that, for funsies, midway through, basically told me to stop and said, in no light terms, if you don't stop right now, it's R. And I just, immediately, it was automatic, like a machine. I was pushing rope. And I wasn't very much pushing rope, if you know what I mean. It went from hardened steel to rope. Now, am I talking around this enough that if a kid was on the stream, they wouldn't catch what I'm putting down, but all the adults know what the fuck I'm saying here? She accused me of that, and I'm not saying, oh, lambast her, she's a hoe. No, if she thinks I did that, I'm sorry. There was nothing for her to gain other than sympathy from other students. And while I think she did do that for that, a little bit, I do think she thought something negative like that had happened. My only question was the same one that most douchebags have. Why didn't you bring it up to me first? Why didn't you bring it up to an authority figure? Why didn't we do something about it when it happened, not literally 3 years later? You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to disparage her, because this is like one of those sensitive topics. It's why I'm specifically not mentioning her name. But what she taught me all those years later, now that we've been over what she accused me of and what I did not do, but she believes I did, because she had said when I confronted her about it in a therapeutic setting in Job Corps that, well, I don't think that you meant to do it, but I think you did this. Well, how could I do that? Because I said I wasn't comfortable and you kept going. And no, you didn't. Never once did you say you were uncomfortable, because if you had said you were uncomfortable, I would have stopped. Well, I said stop. Did you? I never heard you say stop. Well, I didn't say stop, but I did look away. Hon, that doesn't mean anything when we're in the act. I might not have been looking at your face when you looked away. Well, I cried. You cried once, and that time you said that I had hurt you, and I profusely apologized, and I didn't, oh God. And that was when I realized, regardless of my intentions, yeah, to her, that's the time I did it. And no matter, again, regardless of intentions, I think in a court of law, I would be found not guilty. Cool. Does that make a fuck? Not really. So years later, if I come and I say, hey, I really wish that she could forgive me and we could be friends again. I mean, that's sweet and all, but not really my call. And in her mind, yeah, I'm probably an unsafe individual. And by that same standard, I don't think I should force her to be in my presence or company. It's why when she said, and I quote, "Why would I want to have anything to do with you, you stupid piece of shit? You fucking scare me." I immediately just responded with, "Oh, shit, I'm sorry. I will leave you alone forever then. I really am sorry for what I did. For what it's worth. Goodbye and good luck." And I just ended it there. And I have not heard from her in over 10 years. And I truly do hope that, it isn't what it was. Because in my mind, we were just two young kids having a good time. And if it was what it was, whatever that means, genuinely, y'all, I am very sorry for that. But when she said stop, I stopped. The one time she did say, "Stop, you're hurting me," I stopped because I thought that I was, going in at a weird angle or something. I didn't know that I was, Either way, dark subject matter we're not ending the video on. But what I'm saying is when I tell my uncle, "Hey, you're a piece of shit, I don't want to fucking deal with you because of all the years of abuse," and he constantly keeps coming back with, but family, but I can do this for you, but fuck you, it doesn't matter. You, in your mind, steel manning this, you think that you're helping. But in my mind, as well as, the therapist I had for all of like 3 weeks, yeah, no, you're not helping me. You're trying to maintain control because, in their honest and humble opinion, given the information that I gave them, you could be diagnosed as a narcissist. Now, they said, and specifically, they're not diagnosing you because you can't diagnose someone off of someone else's testimony. You have to know that person by talking to them. But yeah, you're giving out a lot more narcissism than well-meaning aggressor there. You know what I mean? Again, it's like when my lawyer says, I'm not talking too much about the case, but like when my lawyer says in court, yes, my client doesn't want anything to do with him, and there's no way that these two could ever find a middle ground, so we think the court should appoint someone to take care of this. Then you follow it up with, "Hey, you want to go out to dinner?" No, what part of fuck off was not understood through the fucking lawyer speaking? The fact that I spent money that I didn't have, and that my friends spent money they didn't have, on a lawyer so I didn't have to directly speak to you. And so that this would be done completely on the up and up, so that when it's done, we're done. Why would I want to do anything with you? Leave me alone. And if you actually had recovered as a person, if you were actually a better person, that would be enough for you to go, oh, okay, okay, then in that case, I am sorry, bye. And if I reach out to you in the future, much like if the lady that I was speaking about ever reached out to me, I would be willing to talk. I'd be willing for us to, hash out what had happened in non-aggressive, non-blamey terms to try to come to a middle ground that we can both find happy, healthy recovery through. I don't know, Chad. I don't know if I'm trauma dumping on you, helping out, or helping I don't know anymore. This one's a little messy in my opinion. I'm trying not to hurt nobody, but I'm also trying to, tell you why I feel the way I feel about these things. Also, we got 2 farms made. Ain't that cool? I'm kind of prairie dogging here on myself, so I'll be right back. If you don't know what that is, it's gross. Don't look it up. I don't know why I just said that to all of the internet to hear, but I'll be back in just a moment, and we will probably pick up with something that's not Minecraft next. For now, we will leave off with this, but as I try to do each time, let's take a quick looky-loo at our base and where it's come. We got fields to harvest. We still have 3-4 towers to build, but our ground game's getting real good, right, y'all? We're getting real good with our ground game. Let's hope we get to keep it. Either way, y'all, about to save and be done on this one for now. I thank you for watching. I thank you for subscribing if you're subscribed. I hope I didn't alienate nobody. I'm not trying to make light of nobody's issues, just letting y'all know I'm a person. And much like you, my friends and people, I too have baggage. B-A-G-G-A-G-E, get off my back, you killing me. Check out Rare Americans if you get the chance, y'all. They're an indie band in the truest sense of indie. They're a little bit bigger now, but understand, they came up pure fan base. Either way, check them out if you're into indie rap / I don't really know, variety. Because they do rap. They do a lot of rap. But they also do, like, rock. They do soft rock. I've heard them do techno. They do a variety. Either way, check them out. Check out other small streamers. Check out Hassan Piker in the large stream. Noah Sampson, I think, finally finished his Ethan Klein, if you sue me, I'm going to take you to the ground crowdfunding video. And if Ethan Klein decides to do what we're all going to assume he's not going to do and just back the fuck out because he knows he... Let's put it this way. If Ethan Klein actually sues all of these creators, I think we should stop making fun of him because clearly he is mentally insane. If he stops himself and backs out of all these lawsuits, by all means, lambast the fuck out of him. That means that he was taking advantage of a genocide to make money. And those people, you should make fun of, chat. Mentally ill people, don't make fun of them. That shit sucks. That's a hell of which, if you haven't experienced it, you can't even imagine. Grifters? Oh, by all means, people, if you make a grifter cry today, you've done a good deed. I'm sorry, as a former Christian, if you make a Trump supporter tear up, son, you've done your job today. Go get a piece of pie. You've earned it. Either way, y'all have a good day. Try to be nice to everybody, all joking aside. Help out with each other. Remember, chat, if you love everyone, the word love is meaningless. Woo! Day 102. And because y'all are here supporting me, also because you listen to my sob stories and don't judge me, and hopefully you'll eventually respond in chat if you have stories of your own. Again, y'all, I'm trying to build a community, not make money here. Respond in chat. I think that we could all grow together. And if any of y'all are like licensed therapists who want to do some real good work, well, by all means, I've often said if I was a therapist, I'd be spending a lot of my time online helping people for as free as I can make it, but I'm also not a therapist. Y'all have a wonderful day. I will see you later for more videos. It's my day off, so outside of basic chores and keeping up around the house cleanup-wise and, you know, food, tea, living things, I'll probably be on here all day making this stuff for y'all and for me. Hopefully the rest of the stream will be a lot less heavy. Why is it I spill my guts in Minecraft, y'all? I'm going to have to look that one up, see what the hell's going on with me. Is it just the sandbox, open environment makes me feel safe? Is it because when I was a kid and rich, white, middle class, well, I guess not rich then as middle class, but wealthy enough to be able to afford a therapist when I was a small child after the bad things, well, one of the bad things happened? Maybe that's why I feel safe and just spill my guts in Minecraft, because it's a safe environment. Who knows? I haven't had therapy since I was old enough for it to actually make a difference. So all this is just the ugly nitty-gritty building it up ourselves. Whoop, day 102. Love y'all, endure and survive. And, like I said, if you want to drop some stuff in the comments, feel free. As long as you don't drop slurs, they'll stay there. Want to insult me? Have at it. I could use more comments. Either way, y'all. Own your mistakes. Grow from your mistakes. Be better every day. Remember, you ain't in competition with me. You ain't in competition with him, nor her, nor them. You, sir or madam, are in competition with yourself. Go win that competition, folks. You got this. I love you, chat. Stay good. Stay clean as you can. Be good. I clearly don't know how to do these right. Bye, y'all.